Hey there, Cricut crafters, it's Gina from Gina C Creates. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to show you how to make this cute floral heart photo frame for Valentine's Day just using your Cricut and some cardstock. Head over to ginaccreates.com for the SVG file. Here are a few supplies you will need to get started. I'm using my Cricut Explorer with a standard grit mat. I have a variety of cardstock. I'm using regular cardstock and the foil cardstock, glitter cardstock, and photo paper. And then some tools I'm using are the Cricut scraper, foam tape, some scissors, and then if you are using the glossy photo paper, you will need some matte scotch tape so we can lay over the registration marks so it can be read by the Cricut. But if you're just using regular cardstocks for your photos, then you won't need it. And then I'll be using a scoring stylus for the back of my frame stand. And then I'm going to need some Barely Art craft glue. And then I'm using a blade to cut my foam tapes. And if you've been following me for a while, you'll notice I have 5-day freebies mostly every Friday. So make sure you download this one before January 30th. And then after that, it will be moved to my shop. So once you have the file downloaded, it will be a zip folder. So make sure you unzip it. And inside the folder, you will find the SVG file. If you are on a Windows PC, it might display as a HTML doc with an internet icon. And that will be the file you'll want to use for your Cricut. And then you'll also find my license, whether you got the free version or the commercial use license. So to open this, we are going to open up Cricut Design Space first and go to Upload. And then we're going to browse our Downloads folder and find the folder you just unzipped and upload the HTML doc SVG file, and then save it to your library and then add it to your canvas. And once it's imported and placed on your canvas, we'll make sure that it is 15 inches in width and 7.11 in height. Now that we have it the correct size, we are just going to right click and hit ungroup, and then we'll be able to select each individual layer. So this is my stand, this is the pocket for the picture, this is the picture, and then we have our 3 layers for our heart frame. So you can see it has the top, and then it has the offset, and then it has the backing. And the only thing we need to do to this file is change these two cut lines into score lines. So select it on the layers panel on the right and change it to the score, and then select the whole group and hit attach. And now our score lines are going to stay on top of our stand shapes. And then you can also change the colors if you want to do a different color scheme. And I'm just going to leave it the way I have it. And then we are going to insert our picture because we want to make sure it's this size. In Design Space, it might be a little bit different because I did edit the picture just to fit in the frame better. So you just find the picture you want to use. I'm going to use my daughter just for an example, but you can use a picture of your husband and yourself, or a couple, or gift for grandparents, just pretty much anything you want. Just depends who you're making them for. So we're just going to scale down our picture, and we are going to grab our picture template and lay it in behind and make sure we have it centered, and select both layers and hit slice. And then we could just delete our scraps, and now we have our picture the perfect size for our heart photo frame. And then before we click make it, we're just going to save our project so you can save all the work you already done in case you want to make another one, or you just want to edit it slightly and add a different photo. So then next, when we click make it, I'm just going to change my paper settings to my paper size, which is the 8.5 by 11 letter. And this is just because I have a certain way I lay down my cardstock, and I don't want to accidentally lay it down the wrong way. And I'm just used to laying it this portrait way instead of the landscape. Okay, next we're just going to send our photo to the printer, and then we're going to turn on System Dialog and leave the bleed on and go to our preferences, and I'm just going to select the paper material I'm using, which is photo, and I'm going to put the quality on high, and then I'm just going to hit OK and then print it out. And once it's done printing, you're just going to match it up to the top left corner of your mat. And then I'm going to use that matte Scotch tape to cover up the black registration marks so it could be read by my Cricut, because sometimes on glossy or shiny paper, it has trouble reading the registration marks. But this is a easy hack just to get it cut out perfectly. And then you can just pop that right out and you have your picture ready to go. And then next we are going to lay down the first mat of cardstock, which is my glitter cardstock. So make sure you cut on that custom setting with glitter cardstock. And then to remove it from your mat, you just flip it over and curl your mat back while keeping your cardstock flat, so your cardstock won't end up curling or ripping. And then you could just pop out the little cut inserts. And to clean your mat, make sure you use that Cricut scraper and scrape it at an angle to get off all the cardstock bits, especially if you use glitter cardstock. You want to make sure you get that mat nice and clean for your next cut, because that can cause your cardstock to rip or tear. And then I'm also using that blue painter's tape to hold down my cardstock so it's nice and secure and it won't move around accidentally from all these cuts that I'm doing. And then for the last one, you're going to need that scoring stylus. So make sure you put that in the A clamp, and then it will score your paper and then cut out next. And then we're just going to put all these aside so we can begin to assemble. So now that we have everything cut out, I'm going to prep my project with my foam tape, and I'm going to cut it into strips. You don't have to use foam tape. You can use craft glue and just layer it together like this. And this is how it would look, just a little bit more flat, but I want to give it some dimension. So I'm going to use my foam tape. I have some parchment paper so I can lay my foam tape on, because I don't want it to stick to my cutting mat, because last time I did that it was really hard to use because it was super sticky. So this parchment paper just helps it lift off easily. So you're going to take your X-Acto knife or your blade and you're just going to cut it into strips, and making sure that it's small enough to fit behind those floral cut lines. And then you can just lift it off. And we're going to take our top layer of our floral frame and flip it over, and we're going to put our foam strips on the back. So I just spreaded it out around the frame and around the heart, and we are going to lay that directly in the center of the middle heart offset. So this is an offset, so you want to make sure you have it nice and center and have a little frame around the center and the outside. And once you have it down, you can flip it over and place more foam tape on the back. And this one is not an offset, so it's going to fit directly in the center of it, lining up the edges. And just make sure your foam tape isn't showing. And then we are going to add the pocket for the picture in the back. So I designed this so you can add the photo in and be able to change it every now and then. So I have this little pocket in the back, and we're just going to align it with glue on the sides and the bottom. You don't need any glue for the top. And we're just going to flip it around and center it onto the back of the hole. And you can flip it around to make sure that your glue is not showing, so you can know it's right in the center. And then you can wipe off any excess glue and let that dry for about 5 minutes. And then we can move on to the stand in the back. We have our little score lines that we're just going to fold over. And we are going to add the craft glue to the tabs in the back. And you just want to flip it over and then make sure your tabs are facing like this. Towards the inside tabs are facing each other, so your stand is on the outside. And then just add craft glue to the inside of the tabs. And you're going to line that up with the middle bottom of the heart. And just let that dry for 5 minutes as well. And you'll be able to lay it flat and then prop it open for it to stand. And then you can just add your picture in and slide that right there. And you're all done with your floral heart picture frame. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this simple and easy but beautiful gift for Valentine's Day. So I hope you guys get to make it. Head over to GinaCCreates.com so you can download the free SVG file right now. It's only available till January 30th. Other than that, it will be available in my shop. Thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get more projects by me.